LiddellWORKS exhibition is a snapshot of a turning point in history, and it's really important because it captures that. My name's Fiona and I have a studio here at the Creative Incubator in Newcastle. I'm an installation artist. I do a lot of sculpture and photography. Mostly my work is concerned about societal issues, predominantly climate change. Arts Upper Hunter has a great vision for this project. It's been really clearly identified. And it's incredible that artists were offered the opportunity to visit the power station, gather materials, talk to people and make artworks at this incredible time in history. So they've done a really good job in bringing a project together with so many different artists that will be exhibited in the local community. When I visited the power station, I was really struck by how noisy, how dirty, how antiquated it looked. So it seemed very clear at the time that it was its time, and it was ready to shut down, and it was ready for the site to be renewed and to have battery storage to firm renewable projects and move into the future. That transition that's happening on site is like a microcosm of what's happening around the world and kind of what's happening in my art practice too. So honouring the legacy and looking towards the future. My family lost our home in the bushfire crisis of 2019 and 20. And after that, I received a bushfire-affected artist residency here at the Creative Incubator. And I was very grateful for that because it allowed me the time to process that great loss and what those fires said about the context that we are living in globally as the planet warms. And after reading some of the Royal Commission into the bushfires and the New South Wales inquiry and really seeing clear on paper that the fires were exacerbated by climate change. So I have quite a focus on coal because it's a fossil fuel and the burning of it worsens climate change, which worsened the fires that burnt my house down. So it's a large context. And I am very intrigued in this moment in history we find ourselves in when large polluting power stations are closing down. They have provided critical power to our homes and communities for decades, and I honour and greatly respect that. We do find ourselves though in a new time where the economy is diversifying and the energy systems are diversifying. And so it's a real privilege to be part of the Liddell project because it matches what I was sort of saying in my practice, is that we need to move away from the mining and burning of fossil fuels. This is my studio at the Creative Incubator in Newcastle. These are the patterns from the power station, which were machinery parts. So this is the basis of the work I'm going to create for the Liddell project, and I'm using materials sourced from the site. So I've made moulds from the timber patterns. So you can see there's one pattern and a mould halfway through the process. And then they start to look a bit like this. There's a LD, I assume for Liddell, part number 330. I was really interested in using concrete for this project, particularly because, you know, the iconic chimney stacks of Liddell are giant monolithic concrete structures. So I wanted to use an industrial material that resembled those stacks somewhat. Concrete contributes 8% globally to carbon emissions. So I've used the fly ash, which is the byproduct of burning coal at Liddell, as well as coal, into these artworks. So they're kind of like cultural time capsules that hold these materials whilst having a forward-looking approach at the situation of climate change that confronts us, whilst also honouring the important part that the power station and all of its workers and family have played over the last many years. So my work is made up of all different kinds of materials. Some of the material have been sourced on the power station. Some of them I've made in my studio, the cast concrete pieces. And then other pieces I've drawn from the environment around me amongst wrecked cars, things like a 12-volt window washer, an electric fencing container, different kinds of wiring, and flashing lights. Of the 3 works that I've made, my favourite is LD330. That's the number of the machine part that you'll see replicated 9 times in the work. And it's my favourite because this work looks very much like a relic of something you would have seen at Liddell, but it speaks very much to the future. This exhibition, it will be very interesting in 20 years' time as we look back upon the Hunter at this critical moment in history where such big changes are underway. It's really important to capture this time in a creative way. I really hope that we'll see many more projects like the LiddellWORKS project, because creative responses to issues of our time, including climate change and energy, are incredibly vital to these discussions.